Rai, Asamu, Jothar, Silverfang, hello, hello, aloha, good morning, good morning. I have awoken, and what's that? Like I said, we're going to continue playing some more today. I'm here for it. I literally just woke up. Well, what is this? This is a game you absolutely should play. It delves into your self-psyche and what you would do in situations, and it shows how it would correlate into essentially the real world. Frosty, I see you. Back at it again. Yeah, back at it at the Krispy Kreme. This is interesting. I love this. I'm going to definitely have to do like a redraw of this with myself for a future thingy, because I definitely want to upload this to YouTube at some point. It looks trippy. I'm liking the vibe. In a nutshell, this game is all about compartmentalizing your own emotional state, developing new traits and emotions through that, and then taking those traits and emotions and choosing what to do with them in a social situation. So for example, somebody's like, oh, I'm hurt and I've fallen down, and you can react with empathy, you can react with apathy, you can react with perspective, or you can react with, something like edginess. It's very interesting. Very nice vibe. Very, very, very nice vibe. I'm gonna go ahead and give us a minute or two to go ahead and settle in. Everybody get your drinks. Everybody get your food. It is only 11:34 a.m. for me, but I mean, that's early for me waking up. I totally did not pass out while doing Unity last night. I absolutely did pass out doing Unity last night. Kind of funny, kind of quirky. Alright, let me double check on my end, make sure everything is currently working. Looks good, looks good. Alright. Perfect, perfect. We're looking good. Kip, how very quirky of you. Oh my gosh, it's the man. Oh my gosh, it's the sir. Hello, Foodman. Good to see you. Just finished another therapy session and now hanging out and gaming. Frosty, you are here at the perfect time, and I urge you at some point to play this game for yourself. This game is absolutely free on Steam because this is the demo. Chapter 1 is not out yet. It will be eventually. This game was released in August, and it has 0 followers here on Twitch. It has no reviews up on Steam. It is largely unheard of, and I discovered this through a random look through furry visual novels, and I found this one and it called out to me, and it is everything and more that I hoped it to be. This is such a great way to see who you are in a nutshell. I caught a whiff of some of the robust butt dragging action and saw it. Samu was here, so I have to swing in. Ah, that sounds about right. I'm currently also drinking my energy drink to wake up for the morning. I had some mustard greens along with eggs today, so I'm feeling pretty energized right now. That's right, I actually had breakfast. Kind of crazy. I blame Mr. Lycanthrope Michael for that. Cursor is working. Cool, cool, cool. We're just making sure everything's good. Looks like we got the green light to go and everything else. But with that, we'll get right into it. I'll let the game explain itself because it is extremely straightforward. There are some puzzles here and there. Oh, wait, never mind. Ads are starting in 58 seconds. All right, we'll let those play through first, and then we'll go ahead and get in there because I don't want you to miss any of this. Oh, my goodness. If ads do start, and for any reason I don't notice, please let me know in chat so I can pause and yap for a second while those go through, so that way you don't miss any of this, because I don't want you to miss any of this game. I think it's well worth your time, I think it's well worth the energy, and I absolutely believe it is a great personal growth you can go through. Ajax, I slept through the morning and I'm currently eating food from Dave's Hot Chicken. That sounds really good, actually. While I was there at MagFest, I got to lovingly have this place called Crimson Coward, and I got the hottest rank of chicken along with Mike and Mike. So he got the hot, Byron got the hot, Tiger got hot, and I got burn, baby, burn. And I thought, oh, okay, it's going to be like, you know, like, it'll go like 1, 2, 3, 6 or something like that. You know, like, it'll be hot, but it's not like a challenge hot. Got back to the room, and I definitely got into it. And my first bite, the roof of my mouth tingled. I felt my ears light up, and I was like, oh, this is actually hot. I took a second bite, and then I know it was really hot because I stopped talking while we were there at the room. And what had happened was I offered some to Mike, and I was like, do you want to try this? This is actually really hot. And then he tries it. His face lights up red, and he's like, oh, and he sits back, like, hand over the mouth. And I was like, oh, Haz, I do have to sleep, but I hope you enjoy it. Oh, perfect. I'll catch you later, Haz. Get some good rest. And so I offered it to Byron and Tiger, and Byron went, oh, okay, this is not so bad, because, you know, the delayed response with the heat. And he's like, this is fine. And then he sits back and he goes, this is stupid. And we're all like sitting there sniffling and like, it was crazy. It was actually so hot. How was the washroom trip? Luckily, it wasn't as bad coming out. I'll call it our one break. I'll take it, but we were dying. But I do recommend. The Crimson Coward was really good. The chicken, regardless, was fantastic. Definitely at the end of it, we had the bread, and that bread soaked up all of that, like, cayenne powder, pepper, or whatever else they have on there, and it was just, ooh. Furry Romo, hello. Good seeing you again. Good seeing you yesterday, actually. That was really cute. All right, as we'll end in 23 seconds, and then we'll get right into it. Were you thinking it was white person spicy, so you had to order the hottest? That's exactly my mentality, Ajax. As somebody who eats spicy all the time, I was like, yeah, no, it'll be fine. Well, how wrong I was, because that shit was spicy. That was spicy as fuck. Alright, ad break has ended. Community is back. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to get right into the game. This is Aim to Capture. I believe we were left off on playing some computer games, so it was just a vacation on Myrtle Beach for 2 days. Kind of crazy time. Almost got hit by a car that slammed into the building I was in, like 10 feet from it. Dude, oh my god. Yeah, well, take it easy, count your blessings, and most of all, know that you're here with us, and be here with us. Ground yourself in that. Alright. Oh, do I have to... Oh, wait. I hit start instead of continue. That's okay, I can load up my save in a second. Well, you get to see the intro of it. Here we go. But just kidding, because I gotta do the funny thing and... Hi, welcome to the Digital Circus. Mr. Kip, hello. Tungsten. Alright. Oh, I like this. This is cute. What a loading screen. The funny thing is, like, American white person spicy is too spicy for European spicy. Oh yeah, no, it's the hand down. I'm okay. No one was hurt. That's good. I want to do this. Okay. Here we are. So we searched through these. These were all good. So, updates, no. I'm connected to the internet in the company database, but I better not show too much activity or I'll attract unwanted system attention. Shouldn't have opened that. Okay, switch the audio to my headphones. It only supports stereo sound and a virtual drive resolution of just over full HD. Oh, retro. Alright, let's check it out. Let's get back in there. So we got kicked out from his Mindscape because I clicked something funny on his phone. And I don't know what that means. Taking a sip. Starwing. I'm tired of scrolling my phone. I decided to just close my eyes. Finally, a welcome drowsiness begins to wash over me. My head sank into the pillow, and my body finally relaxed. Notes of orange drifted through my imagination. Darkness. Deep isolation. Meet Moon. Bent. Bent? Bent! My eyes shot open, and I was finally awake. My heart was still pounding in my chest, and I was out of breath as I just finished a whole marathon. Haley was leaning over me, and I nearly jumped in surprise. You're finally awake! I peeked into your room before going to school, and you were tossing and turning like you were having a nightmare. Are you sick? No, I'm fine. Thanks, though. I blinked a few times to clear my head, then got up and walked into the living room. My head still feels heavy, as if the dream was clinging to me, refusing to let me wake up completely. So, you're going to school already? How long was I out? Haley straightened up and smiled. Yeah, I'm all set to go. You slept later than usual. She looked fresh and put together, unlike me. I glanced at the clock. It was way later than I usually get up. Feeling a strange wave of fear, I instinctively rubbed my face, trying to recall what I had dreamed about. But the memory kept slipping away, leaving only a vague sense of anxiety behind. While I was lost in thought, Haley was already heading off the front door, zipping up her jacket as she walked. Alright, gotta run, or I'll miss my bus again. Again? Yeah, again. Anyway, see ya! Before I can even say anything else, she darted out the door, leaving nothing behind but the click of the lock. I wearily ran a hand through my hair and sighed. Alone again. After Haley left, the silence in the apartment felt especially loud. I stood in the middle of the living room, looking around and wondering what to do next. Alright, so we're back in the mindscape. For those of you who did not join us yesterday, this is how we start our day. We compartmentalize our thoughts, and I go through my thought processes of the day, or hour in this case. So I will go through and unlock new feelings, and those new feelings will continue to unlock new feelings and perspectives and emotions and such and such and such. We will eventually be rewarded with new cards. This is, Asamu, this is exactly it. Journaling in your mind is also called compartmentalizing. I will start to lay out the influences that will affect me internally and externally, and yeah, from there. Which is kind of ill-advised, real. So we'll start with numbness, and we'll start with doubt, gullibility, numbness, connection, detachment, numbness, and nightmares, bravery. Nightmares and doubt, that will also make bravery. Nightmares and connection will make fear. Doubt, connection, paranoia. And there we go. So we've used our 4 core traits in our head. What I'm going to do is slowly but surely you will see me organize these to where they are. When I put them into the center, that is my current focus and feel of the day. If it's on top of my head, that is what leads me. Anything that is outside of it is an outside force that's going to affect me. Anything that I put towards my mouth is what I will speak to people. Towards my eyes is what I see or blind myself with. Back of my head is my hopes and aspirations and wants for the day. And anything behind me is very far detached from what I am. Kiani, hello. Good to see you. Alright, so let's go ahead and start. Currently today, we had our nightmare. So we're not really feeling anything yet. Obviously, we're still getting scrambled and getting everything woken up. So let's go ahead and start with our numbness, and we'll go down the line. Composure. Numbness will definitely be where we are right now, so we're going to start by utilizing that. Okay. Nightmares. See how that reacts to anything. If it does, escape. To the dungeon. Well, what did it try to do? What did you try to do, Keone? Sickness. Okay. Numbness. I hardly know it. Yeah, yeah. I'm not scared of commitment. I'm scared of following through. Go down the line. Reluctance. Alright. We're feeling it out. And lastly, connection. Let's see if connection builds anything. There's pain. Pain we did have it yesterday. Influence is back. I'm gonna go through, finish these up, and then I'm going to take the time to start organizing my thoughts. Zilch! I see you there. Loneliness is back. Because we'll work through our core traits first. The core traits will help lead us to different outputs. Friends. Okay, so we're gonna be getting. We already got a lot today, very quickly actually. All right, so they make me feel things. Yeah. I've never played that visual novel. It is a brand new one. It came out August, and it is widely undocumented, so I want to take a chance to show off to everybody what this game is, so that way you have a chance to play it yourself. The first chapter is out completely for free. This is not sponsored by any means. I just enjoy the game. Alright, so let's go ahead and start focusing where we want to look at things. Right now, we just had a nightmare. We had a lot going on. Paranoia is probably going to be our leading charge for the moment. But we are slowly moving away from the dream because we don't exactly remember or recall what we went through. At the moment, escape is at the forefront of our mind. That's the thing we want most right now. Pain is an outside force. It did come from our nightmare. It did come from our dream, but pain is our outside force at the moment right now. Sickness is also something that's in our head right now because, again, you wake up from a nightmare, the first thing you think is like, I'm the one who's crazy for thinking that. The brain is just a funny thing. Gullibility is something that we want right now. We want somebody to kind of pull us out of it and save us. This game is free? This quality? Yes, you do. You do got to put on your double glasses for that. Bravery is something we want to have right now. Currently, I'm going to put it at the back because we're not thinking about that. Loneliness is kind of centralized because we are lonely in our room. Detachment is something else that we're going to be feeling at our forefront. So I'm going to go ahead and scoot these up a little bit so we can start organizing. Coldness, we're not going to really feel cold at the moment. We're just kind of shooken up. Influence is something that we want to have happen. Reluctance is going to be very, very verbal at the moment right now. I've heard of this novel before. Pretty damn good so far. I'm reading as I'm waiting for a new update. Oh, yes. Perfect. So, fear is going to be our centralized point today because we are functioning out of a really bad nightmare, and we did not like that. Friends are something that's going to be an outside force, but currently we're not thinking about friends to come and save us or even texting them. Composure is something we really want to have right now. And we're going to put that at our forefront of our eyes. Loneliness, I'm just going to put it right here. So, gullibility. Again, we want this to happen. We want to be gullible right now. So I'm just going to put it down here. Alright, now let's start going through. So let's see how pain will influence anything. I'm just going to go through. We get nothing from it, that's fine. Even more anxiety? I'll just explode. My nerves are already stretched to the breaking point like strings. Okay, so now let's work outward. We'll start with gullibility, see if anything will come of it. We're feeling it out. Distrust. Gullibility and reluctance is distrust. Distrust will be something that will also influence us on the top because we are kind of... Oh shit. What did I get? I didn't even see what I got. Whew. Somebody go back and read that for me real quick. I missed what I got. I was clicking. Anyway. It says gullible in the ceiling. Real. Oof. I know. The funny of me clicking too fast, right? Well, I got something. But that was a new trait. So that's a new way I can react with the day. I'll have to read that later. Unless... There we go. Oh. It's not sepsis. You shouldn't trust people, you know that, right? You shouldn't trust anyone at all. Especially the writing on the colorful cards, unless they're cards with pocket monsters on them. Then that's definitely all true. Interesting. Kip Clickerson. Real. Okay. So, paranoia, distrust. We'll put them side by side up there for now. Pokemon mentioned. I know. Kind of silly, right? Let's go through. Let's see what we got. Okay, looks like paranoia is not going to interact with too many things. So you see, we started off the day feeling bad, and we got a bad card. Isn't that kind of funny how that works? Digimon reference, yeah. Digimon is dark, bro. If you haven't watched Digimon, take a chance to watch it as an adult, and you will see a lot of bad things there. It's pretty good. It's very real. Fear and bravery leads to understanding. Let's go through distrust. I like how we got a bad card today just because of how we started off the day. See, it's all about how you think of things. If you think of things starting off bad, you will be surprised how much bad will come for that. If you're looking for bad things to happen to you, Murphy's Law, bad things will happen to you. Alright. Let's see. Okay. Alright. Anything? Understanding. Distrust. Alright, we cleared that one out. Let's look through escape. Obedience. Escape and reluctance is obedience. Ooh, this is what we want as an outside force really bad, actually. But we're going to hold it in the center for now and see what develops from this. We're just going to continue to link it down until we get something, if we get something. Especially when they work Leomon every season. Yeah. It's okay. He's still hot. Okay, wow, we got nothing with obedience. That's fine. We're going to put it right there. We're going to hold it for the moment. Let's continue to go through. What do we have? What do we have? Alright, reluctance. Let's see if anything will come of that. So far, nothing. No. Okay. If anyone ever needs a snack, I'll volunteer. Oh, real answer. That or a footrest, I mean, hello? Anyway. Let's look through. Wow, we haven't gotten any good cards at all either. Okay. So far, nothing. Wow, look at that. We started off strong and then we immediately fell off with some negative feelings. Crazy. Again, it's all about how you frame yourself. Let's start using the back of our mind. We're going to take a chance to delve into our subconscious to try to pull something out. Manipulation's back. Let's start going through manipulation. You can see how we're fanning it out to feel for anything. It's not about being more eloquent. It's about being eloquent with the right people. Okay. Wow. Yeah, we really fell off. We got only one card for the day. Crazy. Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, we've hit an interesting point already, haven't we? Let me go ahead and check this real quick too. Interesting. Alright. We're gonna go today being skeptical. Is that what today is? Is today just a full skeptical day? That's what it was looking like. Again, you start off your day wrong and, well, there's the rest of your day. Look at that. Look at that. We got nothing. Aloha, Nathan. Alright. Well, then there we are. That's all we got. Look at that. What a roll. Alright, so let's go ahead and take this chance to organize and then get on with our day. So, pain is our external factor. We're functioning through paranoia, distrust, and I think, let's see. We want obedience really bad, but it's not our core trait. Right now we're going to be functioning through fear. Gullibility will be right there in the center. Dude, yeah, woke up on the wrong side of the paw pillow. Do you see how I started off the day off bad? And immediately everything else is bad? At our forefront, we want to escape. We're feeling sick. We're feeling detached. In our eyes, we're going to try to be composed because of reluctance when we speak it. Loneliness is going to be kind of a floating and fleeting feeling. We're going to do it as an external because currently we're lonely just by the area around us. Manipulation is going to be something that we want to have happen to ourselves. We want somebody to lift us out of it. Understanding is something else we want in the back of our head. Friends are another external factor, but they're in the back of our mind right now. So we're going to be functioning through paranoia and distrust today. And most of all, we're going to be functioning through being skeptical by the sounds of it. All right, let's go. How many more decisions will I have to make? It's so exhausting because I'm always second-guessing everything. Snapping out of it, I figured I should make myself some breakfast first. Hold on, actually, breakfast can wait. I've got more important things to deal with right now. I remember that I need to contact one of the guys I met yesterday. I can always eat later. Besides, I'm not really hungry anyway. I grabbed my smartphone, sat down on the couch and stared at the screen, feeling paralyzed by indecision. Which one of them should I pick? So, now we're going to be functioning through skepticism. We're going to be functioning through need of order. We want to be manipulated. We want somebody to pull us out of it. Cain has the air of authority, but he does have a bit of instability to him, as we've noticed and picked up on. Robbie, of course, is going to be a little bit more friendly, a little bit more like a real person, but at the end of the day, he kind of push themselves into us. But again, functioning through skepticism, we know he's gonna... We have a feeling Kane's gonna betray us in the end. And we have a feeling that he's going to utilize us for something. But Robbie, we feel that in desperation he might do the same thing. But Kane is the bigger worry. So through skepticism, and through want of manipulation, and through want of somebody with a sense of control rather than somebody who's going to lead us around in circles and, bounce us off the walls. Robbie looked rattled, desperate even. But despite that, he wasn't trying to hide anything. He told me everything he knew and seemed keen on us being a team. He was about to tell me something else, and I was genuinely curious to know what it was. On the other hand, his main plan boiled down to stabbing the monster with a small knife. Not the most promising option. Kane, he seemed more confident and professional from the start. See? Exactly what we're thinking. He clearly knew more than he was letting on, and it looked like he had a more thought-out, logical approach. But could I trust him? He has to be holding back information for a reason, right? You see? Skepticism. I threw my head back against the couch and closed my eyes. I had to make a choice one way or another. But who would it be? There we go. So, now how will we function? Will we function through empathy? We understand that Kane can't give us all the information because obviously he can't, and he's a professional or whatever. So we can function through that. We can function through Robbie. We went through some traumatic event with it. We also want to get rid of this monster. But we will instead take the time to be empathetic of both of them. We can function through edginess. Oh, well, it doesn't matter either way. Both of them can be shit to us, and we can go through a horrible time. Whatever, who cares? I'll make a choice based on that. Nah, I definitely wouldn't. Apathy. Will I function and react? It does not matter which one I choose, because they're both going to lead me down the same path of distrust and betrayal in the end. They want their own motives. They don't need me. So, I'm just there for it. Will I function through anxiety? I need to pick one of these two to sort myself out for the day. I've already had a bad dream. The day has started off wrong. I didn't get anything to function with. It's awful. Everything's awful. Today is already off to a bad start. Eloquence. Will I function through need of control, trying to compartmentalize myself and figure out what I need to do in order to lead them on to get what I need? Well, that probably won't work. Perception. Will I be perceptive of the situation? Look at everything that's going on. I definitely won't be in short. Skepticism, basically. Will I function through being skeptical of both of these people? Absolutely I will. I will consider everything that I just did earlier. I feel like I don't actually want to get this deeply involved. I don't get why something about this monster feels so familiar, like deja vu. But whatever answers I might find aren't worth the risk. Can I really trust Kane and Robbie? I've known them for a day at most. I can't put my life in their hands. This whole thing feels way too dangerous to get mixed up in. If anything gets mixed up to me, Haley will be all alone. Let's see. Let's check history real quick. So, okay. I don't want that happening to us I don't want what happened to us all those years ago to happen again. We're both better off staying far away from this stuff. My number one priority is keeping her safe. I sighed and laid down on the couch. My brain's probably just fried from too much boring work. The second some excitement came along, I was ready to dive in head first. But that's stupid. I needed to be more responsible. My life and Haley's are more important than any mystery. Okay, I've got work tomorrow. I need to distract myself and keep busy all day. I haven't cooked in a while, even though I like it. Looks like I finally got the time. Maybe I'll make something for Haley. She helps out so much around the house, always cleaning and cooking for herself. I feel like I should treat her to something. I have to go to the store, though. There's not much in the fridge, just easy prep stuff like frozen nuggets and canned vegetables we keep on hand for emergencies. Barely any real ingredients for making something special. Then again, maybe I can whip something up with what's here, I thought for a moment, mentally sorting through possible combinations of canned goods and nuggets. I got lost in the process for a while, forgetting everything else. I've forgotten how nice it is to do something other than work and sleep. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. Who could that be? The hell? Looks like the system has no clue what this guy's about. Come on, sweetheart. You got fragments of memories. You just need to figure out what happened in between. Clearly he didn't do that, if he ended up coming after us. Alright, let's try again. Alright, forecast actuary. 53%. Yikes. Well, at least he didn't die. Still a failure, though. Alright. Okay, so we're going to have to amazingly go through this quickly. So, we made another ending. I guess that ending was the if he just didn't go along with anything. Skepticism. Funny thing to work through, right? Look how it stops everything. But, I mean, that's what it is. Alright, let's get back in there. We'll quickly function through. While that's going, since we have the ad break, I'm going to take the time to go ahead and just get back to where we were and save. I should start saving more often now, huh? I'm back with food. Welcome back. Alright, we're going to skip through this because we already done this part. Okay, let's organize. My goodness. Alright, there we go. Welcome back, everyone. While you were gone, we made a ending. I functioned through being skeptical. And by functioning through being skeptical, I didn't make a choice of either of the two. And I lived a normal life and went on and had a day off with my little sister. Crazy to think, right? And that was not the right ending, apparently. Because we need to figure out what this guy is doing. So I'm just quickly going through this, and I'm going to remind me to save after we go through this. I'm going to function through much the same way I did earlier. Building our day. I just need to get that card again, then we're good to go. There we go. Okay. So with that, we will continue. Because we got our card that we're going to function with. Crazy, spending a lot of time with family member that cares about you instead of some randos. Real. So now we're going to make a save. There we go. We'll make 2 saves just in case, because I'm one of those people. Alright. Alright, so we function through skepticism, and that got us nowhere. So, because of that, we have to make a choice. Again, empathy is possibly there, but again, we want that to happen. So, we're not going to make a choice through anxiety. It is there in the back of our mind. We're not going to make a choice through eloquence. We'll make a choice through perception. Still, Robbie just seems too unreliable. He seems like a nice guy, but he's too impulsive. Maybe under different circumstances, we could have been friends. What we said earlier. If we just met on the street and talked about normal things like movies, music, food, or work, maybe then he'd be someone I'd enjoy chatting with from time to time. But that's not the situation right now. I can't afford to make a mistake. And honestly, I'm not sure if I'm ready to rely on someone like him. He's too unstable. Kane is a different story. I know almost nothing about him, but get the feeling he knows what he's doing. He's confident, and he talks like he's already thought every step through. It feels like he's used to this sort of thing, which means I'm better off sticking with him. I picked up my smartphone and scrolled through my contacts until I found the number he gave me yesterday. I dialed it and heard it ring, then a short click. "How can I help you?" I felt a flicker of tension. He answered quickly. "Hey, we met yesterday and by chance and talked about that thing." "Yes, of course. Your timing is perfect. I was about to come see you anyway." I frowned slightly. "Really? What for?" I wonder if he was the knock at the door. Anyway, I figured you were going to move forward one way or another, which means you're liable to do something foolish. Am I wrong? His voice was calm, almost relaxed, but at the same time I could detect an undercurrent of focus, as if he was already a step ahead of me in his mind. "Well, yeah, basically. I really can't get it out of my head. Which is why I'm going to help you, or rather, I'm going to allow you to help me, let's put it that way." I froze for a second, processing his words. The way he said it made it sound like I was joining something much bigger than myself. Still, his voice wasn't condescending, just confident. Like he had the situation completely under control. I felt a wave of relief. At least he wasn't going to brush me off or tell me to forget this whole thing again. "Alright, I'd be happy to help, so what's the plan?" "You're probably hoping I'll give you more details about the monster, correct?" That would be nice. "Yes, that would be logical, if you were going to help me. In that case, we should meet somewhere." "And where would that be?" "The place where I keep all my work-related information. We wouldn't want anyone eavesdropping at your apartment, would we?" No, I guess not. Although, who would be listening in? Most elderly people live on this floor, and a lot of them are hard of hearing. I have to say hello to them multiple times, raising my voice each time. I'm doubtful any of them are pressing their ears to my door. "Then, let's meet on your street. I'm almost there." "Okay, got it. I'll get ready." "See you shortly." After that, the line went dead. I put my phone down and exhaled. Everything's happening so fast. So, now I'll finally find out what the creature is, and why I was seeing it in my nightmares before I even ever ran into it for real. Does it affect people's dreams somehow? Maybe it gives off some kind of a aura that makes people fear it before they even met it? I don't get it at all. This monster seems like something supernatural, and who knows what it's capable of. 15 minutes later, I was standing outside of my building, nervously glancing around. The street was enveloped in a thick, clammy fog that made the city feel almost deserted. For some reason, I suddenly felt too lazy to go anywhere, but I have to know. I wonder when he'll get here. Cool car. Looks like it just rolled off a magazine cover. Wonder who owns it. They bloom so beautifully in the spring. Someone is always taking care of them. Looks like it rained last night. It's a bit foggy and damp. This says that some residents haven't paid their building maintenance fees yet. When I was a kid, I thought it was some scary place. Turns out it's just full of old folks extorting money for any reason they can think of. I never learned to drive when I was supposed to. Real. I recently saw Haley telling her friend that this door has cursed vibes. I fell into them a couple times as a kid. It was not pleasant. For anybody who thinks bushes are soft and comfy if you jump into them, they are absolutely anything but. Better not step in that puddle later. I shivered at a sudden gust of chilly wind and was just about to get my phone out to call Kane when I felt a movement right behind me. Jeez, you nearly scared me. Kane, standing a few steps away, tilted his head, watching my reaction with mild curiosity. Did I? Why is that? You can't just sneak up on people like that. You can give someone a heart attack doing that. Kane just gave a barely perceptible smile. My apologies then. Ready to go? My gaze drifted over to his scooter, parked by the curb. Is it far? Maybe we should take the scooter like yesterday? Kane followed my gaze, and an expression of awkwardness crossed his face. We'd better not. That thing of yours is too conspicuous. And where we're going, it's best not to draw attention. Well, alright. Lead the way then. Kane nodded, turned around, and set off without another word, striding confidently down the foggy street. I hurried to follow. Rose bushes are particularly fun to fall in. Oh! When we finally stopped in front of a building I didn't recognize, I could finally catch my breath. We'd been walking at a brisk pace, and my legs were starting to protest by the end of it. I turned to Kane, hoping for a quick break, but he looked irritated. Damn fog. You don't like the fog? Kane didn't seem to expect me to hear that. He shot me a quick glance before nodding. Yeah, not this kind anyway. I glanced around. Just a typical autumn fog, the kind our city gets every year. Damp air, a slight heaviness in your lungs, a sleepy feeling. Nothing out of the ordinary. What's so special about this kind? I hate the way it smells. All citrus and chemicals. Ah! I blinked. Smell of citrus? Focusing on my senses, I took a deep breath. He was right. Amid the usual damp air, there was a faint hint of orange. Faint, almost unnoticeable, but now that I was paying attention, I realized it really was coming from the fog. Had there been fog all along? That's weird. Orange trees don't grow in this city. Can fog really smell different? Does it smell different in other places? I've never been outside the city, so no. Only smells like this here. Anyway, we don't have time for this. Let's go. I only just now noticed the building we stopped in front of. Was it an old police station? Now that I finally had a chance to get a good look, I realized it was much larger than it seemed from the street. A huge structure hidden just around the corner of a nondescript street. Without another word, Kane opened the door and stepped inside. Huh. So his secret safe house is in here somewhere. But he didn't say whether we should leave the door open or close it. Should I close the door? Empathy? Well, I mean, he would close the door for me, and I should close the door for him. Was the door open when I got here? Who knows? Edginess? No. We'll leave it open because we're above that. Apathy? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Anxiety? If I don't close the door, he's gonna be really upset because I didn't close the door. He's gonna have to close it himself. But if I do close the door, and then he's gonna have to come over and open it, and it's a mess. It's a mess either way. Eloquence? Well, I'll take the initiative and ask him if I want to close the door or not. Perceptive. Again. Was the door closed when I got here? Was it open when I got here? And skepsis. Well, we're going to go through perception. I glanced at the door again and noticed its hinges were barely rusted and worn out. And who knows what's up with that lock. If I close it and the locks us both in here, we could have to jump out the window to escape. That scenario didn't appeal to me one bit. Better just leave the door as it is and move on. Once I was finally inside, I saw Kane heading up a staircase at the far end of the hall. I hurried after him. Kippy and Kane's outfit? Oh, Ajax, don't you worry. I'm definitely thinking about that. I'm going to go ahead and make a save here. We ended up in a stairwell. Dust motes hung in the air, settling gently on the crumbling steps. Through the open doorways, I could see empty, ransacked rooms. Layers of grime, cobwebs in the corners, broken furniture strewn amongst the trash. Definitely abandoned. But why? Ajax, real quick question. Have you ever played Transistor? And if you have, the Camerata is one of my ultimate loves. Anyway. After climbing to the third floor, Kane stopped in front of a door and, without ceremony, swung it open. I followed in what looked like an old police archive. The smell of dust, damp paper, and mildew, as if the air itself was saturated with memories of forgotten investigations and long unended documents. My eyes swept over the tall metal shelves overflowing with boxes, folders, stacks of papers. An old desk and a pair of chairs stood in the corner. I see an orange. Fresh fruit in this abandoned place? Surely not. This must be some kind of mistake. Well, I wonder when they stop ticking. From a distance, it looks like a board from some big investigation, but up close, someone was just trying to pick the best lunch option. Judging by the cover, it's some salary Recalculations from 2019. This place has been abandoned for 5 years. If the records are to be believed, can that much dirt really build up in that time? How come we can't touch the... People still use instant cameras in this decade? If I blow the dust off these boxes, I'll probably start a mini dust storm and have to evacuate. And inside this box, we find even more papers. An ocean of papers, packed to the brim. I don't see anything interesting here. What was Kane even talking about? Looks like just boring police accounting paperwork. Mac and cheese sounds like a strong contender. I always get confused trying to read these kind of clocks. I honestly have no idea what we're doing here. Absolutely useless. The lamp would be great to see better in this gloom, but there's no power in the building. Weirdly, I kind of want to take this lamp home. Poor thing, just standing out here all alone. I am one of these type of people. I put emotions into inanimate objects, and it's a really bad habit of mine because my sympathetic and empathetic approach to a lot of situations makes me look at the bruised fruit in the room. And when I looked at a bruised fruit on a counter or whatever else like that, my first initial thought is, if I'm going to eat any of them, I'll eat that one first because that's the one that nobody's going to pick and it's going to rot and it's going to feel bad. I do the same at supermarkets too. When I notice something kind of out of place or it's got a bent box or whatever like that, I will typically go for the broken object first before I go for the neat looking one, out of no reason other than I feel bad for it and I would rather give it a home than let it go to waste. Let's see. Totally useless counting stuff. So, this is your secret spot? That's right. He started looking through the boxes on the shelves, same though real, going through them one by one. Alright, now, where did I put that box? I brushed a layer of dust from an old chair and sat down carefully, making sure it wouldn't collapse underneath me. So, you decided to hide your things in an abandoned archive. Pretty original. He glanced over at me for a moment, then went back to what he was saying. Yeah, it's pretty convenient. Not many people come to this part of town, and some of the abandoned buildings around here, like this one, have a bad reputation. So you can safely store things in here without worrying about some teenager and their friends wandering around and rummaging through your papers. I couldn't help but smirk thinking of my sister. Sounds like you don't know teenagers very well. So, this building has a bad rap? That's weird. I've never heard about it. Looking around, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Do you know why? Because something here happened a while ago. Something very unpleasant. He stopped rummaging through the boxes and turned to me. There was a wary look in his eyes as if he was starting to have second thoughts. Is something wrong? You said you've lived in the city your whole life. It's strange you don't know anything about this building. Kane tilted his head slightly, his dark eyes studying me with a new expression. You know too much about things you shouldn't, and too little about things you should. That's a line right there. He said it slowly, emphasizing every word. It made me uneasy. What was he suspecting me of? I think before we get to why we're here, I'm going to ask you a few more questions, if you don't mind. I was about to nod, but then I heard a muffled thud. Kane's head instantly snapped to the side like a startled animal. I opened my mouth to say something, but then a folder of documentations fell from a shelf with a clatter. The sound was similar, just a bit louder. Kane shot a quick glance, then his gaze snapped back to me. I let out a quiet breath, realizing I'd been holding it. It looked like things were starting to fall off the shelves from Kane rummaging around for that box. Alright, fine. I'll answer all of your questions, but only in exchange for some answers from you. Kane studied me. Let me take a sip. Alright, finish my drink. Take a sip of water, too. Kane has one of my favorite color schemes, by the way. Color scheme I love. I love that kind of green, the teal green, along with red. It's a very powerful contrast. Kane studied me as if weighing whether to continue playing games like he did yesterday. But after a moment, he just gave a casual nod. Fine. It's all the same to me. Oh, I like this. Hello, looking. Oh, I like the eyes being red there. Anyway, foreboding. Great angle. Look at those ankles. Anyway, He sat down at his desk, paused, as if thinking about where to start. So, my first question is, I noticed you lived alone with your sister. Where are your parents? I tensed internally. My heart skipped a beat, then started up again, unsteady. I wasn't expecting this line of questioning. More than that, I didn't want to hear it. Our parents are dead. I answered sharply, almost automatically, trying to keep my voice even. But judging by Kane's expression, my blunt answer clearly wasn't enough. He stared at me expectantly, and I knew I had to go on. I don't really remember the details anymore. We were in a car accident, our whole family. Mom and Dad were in the front, my sister and I were in the back. Something happened and the car was completely wrecked. By some miracle, my sister and I survived, but Mom and Dad were gone, just like that. Kane listened to me with a serious expression and nodded, and then let out a small chuckle. I felt a flash of outrage. Was he laughing at the death of my parents? How very unoriginal. They really should change the story every now and then. I froze. My outrage quickly turned into confusion. What was he talking about? If you think I'm making this up to lie to you, no. I know you're telling the truth. He paused for a second, giving me time to process what he said. It's your turn to ask a question. I opened my mouth, but couldn't immediately think of what to ask. His words had completely thrown me off, and I've lost my focus. But after a short pause, a logical question finally came to my mind. So, what's wrong with my parents' death, then? Kane gave a slow smile. Oh, nothing's wrong with it. I'd even say it's perfect. I clenched my fist, but kept quiet, letting him continue. No one's going to ask follow-up questions or dig any deeper if you tell them a story like that. A tragic but typical car accident is one thing. A mysterious murder is another, which raises more questions. My head was spinning. Exactly. Is he implying that my parents' death was staged, arranged by someone? But I was there. I saw it all. Didn't I? Oh my gosh, Kane is... Yeah, let's take those shoes off. My turn to ask a question. Quiet. He stared at me intently before continuing. Why are you so desperate to get into trouble? I blinked. What? You have a younger sister. Why are you trying so hard to leave her completely alone? A knot of anxiety formed on my stomach. Oh, why would you say something like that? Kane leaned forward slightly. Answer the question. Why is catching this monster so important to you? I let out a slow breath, trying to compose myself. His questions were too provocative, too blunt, but I couldn't afford to lose control or lose my cool. I need to think. I've already thought about it. I'd ask myself the same question. Why am I doing this? And strangely enough, only one answer came to mind. I'm doing it for her. Kane tilted his head slightly. Care to explain? I bit my lip. I have this feeling that if I do nothing, then when Haley and I will be in real danger, I can't explain why I feel that way. I just know it. Kane listened to me attentively, then nodded. Let's say, then why don't you just run away with her? We don't have much money. I have to take a lot of extra shifts, agree to jobs others turned down, work longer hours, but even then, it's often not enough. We're lucky to have a place to live since we inherited an apartment from our parents, but our situation is far from ideal. I dropped my gaze, even though I try my best to make sure she never notices. Kane let out a heavy sigh and hung his head. I'm sorry. Sorry for what? He looked up at me. I'm sorry you feel like you have no other choice. I didn't know what to say. A tense silence filled the room. Then Kane abruptly rose from his chair and looked around. His gaze fell on a desk, specifically one of his drawers. He walked over and opened it and pulled out a small black box. He placed the box on the desk and looked at me. Because I don't have any other choice either. Before I could ask what he meant, he jerked the box open and pulled out a gun and pointed it right at me. I recoiled, nearly knocking over my chair. What? Kane let out a calm sigh, but his gaze was unwavering. I truly am sorry. For you and for your sister. I hope someone takes care of her. I knew I wouldn't have time to react, let alone escape. His finger was already tightening on the trigger, and suddenly a fire extinguisher slammed into him with a resounding clang. Kane was knocked backwards. He collapsed to the floor, blood trickling from his forehead. Is he alive? Possibly, but he's stunned at least. What do I do? Oh, okay. Alright. Whew! We got a whole new tree here. Let's see. We'll react to shock, panic. Panic. Okay. Alright. Alright. Betrayal. That's where we're at. I froze for a split second, trying to process what just happened. My ears were ringing and my heart was hammering against my ribs. Just then, the door creaked open and I caught a flicker of movement. My eyes shot to it, and I saw a familiar face. Robbie. He just saved me, and now he was frantically waving me over, urging me to follow him. I saw his eyes darting between me and Kane's body on the floor, and I knew there was no time to think. What do I do? We react. First reaction. My eyes fell to the gun on the floor, then to Kane's unconscious form. He tried to kill me. Why? Why did he want to kill me? I don't understand. Taking a deep breath, I walked over to his body. If I leave him like this, he might try again. I have to protect myself. I picked up the gun off the floor and aimed it right at Kane's body. My hands were trembling. My heart hammered in my chest. I have to shoot this. I have to shoot it so it never happens again. I have to shoot so I don't get shot. I have to shoot to protect Haley. Ben, we need to run. Robbie was calling out to me, but I couldn't move. My hands felt fused to the gun. It was heavier than it looked. My finger squeezes the trigger and I can't do it. My whole body is trembling and my grip is weakening. I just can't do it. What was that? My heart nearly stopped. I just shot a person. He was a person, right? I thought I saw something. There was something on his body. The gun is still in my shaking hands. I tried to lower my arms, but the gun slipped from my grasp, clattering loudly as it hit the floor. What do I do now? What? Were you a good person, Ben? A mad ending. $33? No, he clearly wouldn't have done that. We gotta give it another go. Definitely. Okay. Alright. Alright. Let's see. Okay, we'll go back to the room. See, now we're branching. Now we're delving. Okay. So let's go through this. So, now we're coming through with a new perspective on things. So, anxiety will lock us in no decision whatsoever. Empathy is the strongest calling card to it. We could be empathetic. Well, there's something about Kane that scares me. He's too confident, too secretive, and it's not like I learned anything useful from him yesterday anyway. Robbie, on the other hand, seems more genuine. A little weird, maybe, but for some reason, I feel like I can trust him more easily. It's not pulling the trigger that's hard. It's watching the bullet tear through the target that's hard. That's the hard part. Real. And the pain, well, we'll work something out. I think I can help him come up with a better idea. I unfolded the crumpled piece of paper he left me yesterday and punched a number into my phone. I hit call and listened to it ring. 1 ring. 2. 3. What if he doesn't pick up? Maybe he's already changed his mind. Or... Hello? Hey, it's Ben. We met yesterday, remember? Oh, Ben, yeah, of course, I remember. I was hoping you'd call. So, can I come over when we talk more? You're alone now, right? Yeah, I'm alone right now. How long till you're here? Sooner than you think. What? Really? What's that? But instead of an answer, there was just a short beep on the line. He'd already hung up. Such a weird guy. After changing into some decent clothes, I plopped down on the couch, holding a hastily made sandwich. It was a simple one. Bread, a bit of mayo, and lots of tomatoes. Not exactly a culinary masterpiece, but it was enough to curb my hunger. Besides, I love tomatoes. Bonui, yeah. I love you, bunny. Go fuck yourself. Anyway, just as I was about to take a huge bite, I pulled my smartphone and might as well scroll through my feed for a bit. Suddenly, there was a firm knock on the door. I froze, phone in one hand, sandwich in another. Already? It had been 10 minutes or so since I called. I left my food on the plate, got up, and headed for the door. A look through the peephole revealed a familiar figure. It really was Robbie. Open door, and Robbie strode right in without pausing on the doorstep and making a beeline for the center of the room. Something about his sharp movements reminded me of my sister. That made that same impulsiveness, like he'd been ahead of time, that he thought he was going to waste a single second. Jeez, you really are fast. What, were you just waiting outside my door this whole time for my call? No, of course not. He replied with a slight smile as if trying to reassure me. I was waiting for you to call at the corner store down the street. Right. I walked over to the couch, sat down in the armchair beside it, and patted the cushion, inviting Robbie to take a seat. He sat down, but his eyes landed on my sandwich that was sitting on a plate on the coffee table. That's my breakfast, kinda. Want me to make you one? Oh, no thanks. I'm on a special diet after getting out of the hospital, so I'm trying to stick around to a meal schedule. Hospital. Okay, so I'm calling it now. He was probably a test subject. I feel he was a test subject in something. There's something about white characters with red eyes that always hit me as test subject. After getting out of the hospital, did he mention escaping from that monster? Was it really that bad? But I often forget to eat. Case 1. Real, Osamu, see? Sometimes I'm just not thinking about it. He rubbed the back of his neck awkwardly, and I even noticed he was avoiding my gaze. Anyways, that's not important. So, do you want to team up? Honestly, I'm still not sure. Let's finish talking about what you wanted first. Oh, yeah, right. We didn't get to finish our talk yesterday, did we? Yeah, exactly. Speaking of which, do you forget things often? Robbie froze for a moment, a worried look crossing his face. Yeah. I've been a bit forgetful lately. You just mentioned you were in the hospital. Could that have something to do with you forgetting things? I don't think the hospital has anything to do with it. Are you sure? Why were you there? Did you have a head injury or something? I'm not sure, but I was in hospital because I barely survived the monster attack. Albinos are built to be Subject Zero in stories. Real! So, it really was that serious. But my memory problems started way before that. I think a few years ago? Or something like that. He trailed off, frowning as if trying to grasp the fleeting memory. Right, there was something I wanted to tell you, but I can't remember what it was. Why don't you start from the beginning? Maybe that'll help you remember? Yeah, I think that's the best way to go. He suddenly looked up and smiled as if he just had an important realization. You're so smart, Bint. I'm glad you're my friend now. Huh, so we're friends now? I guess now's not really time to argue about it. Yeah, I'm glad I met you too. So, how did the monster attack you? Me when I see Kip. Real. Yeah. It's a little hard to talk about. Why? Because you don't remember it well or because it's too scary? A bit of both. Well, I used to live in another town not too far from here. I was having trouble finding work in my field, and I had no idea why. What's your field? Robbie shot me a look of mild reproach, as if I had interrupted him at a crucial moment, but his expression returned to neutral almost instantly. I'm a microbiologist with a PhD. Aha. So anyways, I was trying to find work and... What? Him? A microbiologist with a PhD? And I instinctively gave him a once-over searching for some kind of proof. Maybe I was being biased because of slightly scruffy appearance and how young he looked, but it was hard to believe. And how could he possibly not find a job with a resume like that? Okay, I need to focus. And then my therapist advised me not to get fixated on one problem and to just try and enjoy all aspects of life and not just my career. And that's when I met him. I blinked, trying to figure out as if I missed something important. Him? Robbie nodded and nervously tugged at his collar. Yeah, the guy who appeared out of the blue and just started talking to me right there on the street. It was a little awkward, but he was very pleasant about becoming friends. He'd praise me for little things, tell jokes, be supportive, so eventually we got to know each other. I tensed up. What on earth was he talking about? And after a few days of texting back and forth, he invited himself over to my place, and for some reason I agreed. His cheek turned a little pink as he told the story. But suddenly his expression shifted. The blush vanished as his gaze grew darker. When he arrived, he started asking a lot of questions, really strange and personal ones. Like, why is my heart beating so fast? And why do I feel embarrassed? And why do I look the way I do? Yeah, those are some pretty weird questions. Well, what was that even supposed to mean? Some kind of creepy pickup line? Well, I didn't get it back then either. When I asked him why he needed to know all that, he suddenly got flustered, like I caught him completely off guard, and then he suddenly stopped talking. And then Robbie slowly looked up and an uneasy flicker pressed through his eyes. And then his face started to melt. What? Oh, that's it. I remember the important thing I wanted to tell you yesterday. What? The monster. It can turn into other people. I completely froze. Something vague and unsettling suddenly surfaced in my mind, scraps of memory I couldn't quite catch. Taking a deep breath, I tried to get a grip, forcing my thoughts in order so I wouldn't lose the thread of the conversation. Robbie, what do you mean? That monster was trying to lure me into a trap. I have no idea what I did to get his attention. He let out a heavy sigh. When his face started to melt, panic set in. I realized he wasn't human at all, but before I could do anything, he attacked me. So, how did you manage to escape? I didn't, at least not at first. He wasn't going to just kill me. Instead, he locked me up with my own basement and kept me there for days. He dropped his mask, stopped pretending to be human. He brought me food, bandaged the very wound he'd given me. I don't get it. Why would he do all that? He kept visiting me. His voice grew quieter. His fingers dug into his temples as if his memories were causing him physical pain. He watched me, tasted me, studied me. I think he was trying to understand how to become me. From the horrific look in his face, I realized it was as if he is only now remembering it in full detail. I even had an urge to comfort him, maybe hug him, but I wasn't sure if I should. So, how'd you get away? I got lucky. Seems that creature didn't know that rabbits like me have pretty big and sturdy claws. It took me a while, but I managed to saw through the rope he tied me with. I didn't let on, though. Then, by the washing machine in the basement, I grabbed a handful of laundry detergent. He looked at me, and a faint glint of pride flashed in his eyes for a moment. When he came back and started gawking at me, I took the handful of detergent and threw it right in his eyes. So you managed to blind it? Yeah, something like that. I scrambled up the stairs, but it was faster. It caught me at the front door and grabbed me. I struggled, but it slashed me with its claws. Somehow I managed to shove it away and bolt for the exit. I nearly broke the door down with my own body. I ran out of the house covered in blood. There were people standing nearby. They saw me, so I guess the monster didn't dare follow me with witnesses around. I saw a shadow flicker in the doorway and then quickly disappear down the alley. So, that's how you ended up in the hospital. Yeah. Some passerby called an ambulance and I ended up in the ICU. I was lucky to survive. He heaved a heavy sigh and let his head hang forward as if under the weight of his thoughts. But now my life is a nightmare. Those words sent a jolt through me. When I was discharged, I couldn't go back to my old life. Every shadow, every stare that lingered a second too long. It all terrifies me. That monster, It didn't just attack to kill me. It wanted to steal my life. I hate it, and I'm going to kill it. His voice was firm and confident, but laced with pain. I suddenly realized that my feelings were in sync with his. I wanted to kill that monster too. I could literally feel the rage coursing through me right now. But why? Why do I care so much? I need to get a grip. It's fine. I looked at Robbie. He looked exhausted, as if the conversation had completely wrung him out, leaving an empty shell behind. His shoulders were slumped, his gaze was unfocused, and his fingers were nervously twisted in the hem of his sleeve. I got up from the couch and walked to the kitchen. Hey, do you want some tea or coffee? Robbie didn't react for a second, as if the words weren't quite registering. Then he gave a slight blink, snapping back to reality. Good lord, man, this is a seriously traumatic event. It is! It really is. We've got juice in the fridge, too. Robbie got up from the couch and came closer, leaning sideways against the fridge. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't mind some tea. All right, then. Or coffee would be better. Coffee it is, then. Although juice sounds pretty good, too. I turned to look at him, crossing my arms. He seemed flustered, almost like he was annoyed with himself for hesitating. I'll just have what you're having. I chuckled and opened the fridge. So you're having chocolate milk, then? Robbie froze for a second, then his eyes suddenly lit up with joy. Oh, I haven't had that for ages. Yes, please. Boy, make up your mind. I took a bottle of milk out and with a little kitten drawn on it. For some reason, I felt like this might help lighten the mood. By the way, there was something I was wondering. What's that? How did you manage to follow me all the way home? I was on my scooter. That was pretty simple, actually. When you came back to the house, I knew you survived, and I was so happy about that. I wanted to come up and talk to you, but you seemed kinda off. So I wasn't sure. Off? Yeah, like you'd been eaten and replaced. Replaced? Yeah. Kinda like that. What was tried with me. Anyway, I decided it was better to follow you first instead of just making contact right away. This rap is so me! Real butter rage! So I turned on the GPS on my second smartphone, shared its live location with myself, tossed the phone into the storage compartment of your scooter, and, well, I hid behind your house so you wouldn't spot me. Once you drove off, I checked to see you where you were parked the scooter and headed over. I raised an eyebrow. Wow, that's actually pretty smart. I'm not sure I would have thought that myself, but about the floor and department number, how did you figure out which one I live in? Robbie smirked. I asked your concierge where the tall, gloomy delivery guy lives. And he just told you like that? No, not just like that, but he did for $20. I also told him we were best friends and that I wanted to surprise you since we hadn't seen each other in ages. Oh, damn, you're smart and more resourceful than I am. I'll give you credit for. I underestimated you. So, you're impressed? Yeah, I'm impressed. Robbie nodded, pleased, and grabbed the bottle of milk, twisting off the cap. By the way, did you even go back to that house? If I saw something like that, I wouldn't have gone back. Hello, is this new guy a PI? Real, I'm concerned. You should be. I got lost in thought, staring at the floor. Robbie poured the chocolate milk into a glass and downed it in a few gulps. To be honest, I'm still not sure myself. When I saw that monster, I was scared out of my mind, and after that, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I wasn't even sure if I saw it was real. I had to go back and check. I see. So, why'd you leave again so quickly? Oh, I ran into another guy who's seen the monster too, and I think he actually knows something about it. Really? I nodded. Yeah. He seems pretty capable, and I get the feeling he knows a lot more than he's letting on. Suddenly, Robbie turns away for a second, then turns back. His expression is soured. He's not looking right at me. His eyes are darting around the room, avoiding mine. Is something wrong? Right. But we still need to decide what to do next. Yeah, of course. We need to come up with a plan, and I actually have an idea. I watch his face closely, but the uncomfortable look doesn't leave. Oh, really? I'm open to any suggestions you have. He suddenly takes a step back. It's small, almost imperceptible, but it happened. Did I do something wrong? Sounds like a save. At this point, it's time to start saving regularly, right? How should I react? Out of empathy? We're not going to be edgy. We're warming. And I think empathy is the right choice here. Hey, you seem a little troubled. Is something wrong? He looks up at me, a little surprised, as if he didn't expect me to notice. No, I'm sorry. Everything's fine. I'm just weird sometimes. That's not it. You look like you want the floor to swallow you whole. What's really wrong? He looks away for a second and sighs. His shoulders sag a little as if in defeat. It's just... I feel awkward standing next to you right now. What? But why? He fidgets, his fingers nervously playing with the sleeves of his hoodie. I'm hiding out in a pretty safe place right now, so no one can find me. It's a motel on the edge of town where they don't ask questions or real names. The conditions are tolerable, but the thing is, he trailed off tugging at the hem of his hoodie. There's always a line for the shower, so I often don't get a chance to use it in the morning. Just like today. And I think I probably smell bad, which is I don't want to stand too close to you. Oh, that's a mood, real. You could see how embarrassed he was, even though it seemed like such a trivial thing. I already come up with a whole list of scary reasons in my head for his weird behavior, but this definitely wasn't one of them. I leaned in a little closer to him. He smelled fine, just deodorant with a fresh, slightly sweet scent. Carrot scented? Nah, that's ridiculous. Although maybe it is? Huh. Is it okay to tell a rabbit he smells like carrots? That sounds kind of racist. Okay, wrong train of thought. I think you smell fine, but if you're worried about it, you can use the shower here if you like. He immediately perked up. Really? Oh, that'd be awesome. I haven't been in a real bathroom in probably a couple of months. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Yeah. I pointed down the hallway. Of course. The bathroom's right down the hall. You can grab a towel from the cabinet next to it. He looked at me with so much gratitude that it started to make me feel a little awkward. But as he headed for the bathroom, I remembered something. Hey, wait. Do you have a change of clothes? He stopped and turned slightly surprised. Then again, stupid question. Of course you don't. It's fine. I'll just put my own clothes back on. It's better than nothing. They aren't that dirty yet. No, that's not going to work. Go to my room. It's the second floor on the right down the hall. There's a drawer by the bed. Open it and grab whatever you want. Alright, but your clothes would be like a bedsheet on me, but if you insist. He chuckled and disappeared down the hall, pulling the door closed behind him. A bedsheet? I'm not that big. I looked down at myself, turning a little to the side. I don't seem fat. I was just starting to open a box of coconut cookies while I waited when suddenly there was a knock at the door. I froze, cookie in hand. It's too early for Haley to be home. I walked to the door and looked at the people. It was Kane. He looked tense. I hesitated for a second, wondering if I should open it, but turned the handle anyway. He walked right in without so much as a hello. We need to talk. What? About what? I've had time to think, and I've concluded that I should be bringing you in on my work after all. He gave me a quick, cold look, sizing me up from head to toe. Besides, I'm sure you wouldn't have listened to me and would have kept snipping around behind for the monster anyway. But didn't you try to talk me out of this? I did, but did it work? Maybe? He raised an eyebrow, a hint of a smirk on his lips. Trust me. You don't need to be a mind reader to know you're lying. I'm not lying. I said maybe. Fine. He suddenly leaned forward, peering directly into my face. So you weren't planning on getting involved in this again? Was I supposed to? He sighed and glanced around the room. Then he just walked past me, plopped down on the couch, and brushed some invisible dust from his pants. After a moment of hesitation, I sat down in my armchair, the one next to the couch. You know, I could actually use your help. I know where to track the monster next. Really? And how do you know that? That's irrelevant. Trust me. I know exactly where this creature will be at all times. What's important is that we would generally prefer to have your help with something. He adjusted his tie, looking directly at me. Oh. Uh-oh. If you're interested, of course. Oh, I leaned on the armrest, fingers clasped. What could I even say to him? Alright. We will save right here. See, now we're going to get branches. Alright. So, we are going to react not with empathy to him. We have Robbie here. We must be... There's skepticism of him. Perceptive. Anxiety, because there's a lot going on right now, of course. Apathy. I believe we're going to react... I want to say perception. Skepticism is here, but I feel like that will drum up too much trouble. So let's be perceptive. Was that Robbie peeking out from behind the door? Was it just me to look terrified? Could that mean Robbie knows Kane and is trying to avoid him? This whole thing is suspicious. I might still be interested, but I really needed more information, and you didn't seem willing to share. No, that's not a problem, actually. I can just take you to a place where you can review all the case materials. Of course, you'd be forbidden from disclosing any of it. And what kind of place is that? Some secret spy base? No, it's more of a personal safe house where I keep certain documents. No one knows about it. Weird. I can't figure out who he is, what his job is, or who he works for. None of it adds up. A safe house? Are you trying to lure me into a trap? Kane suddenly laughed as if I told a joke. Do I have a reason to do that? Why would I need to lure you anywhere? To get rid of a witness, I thought, but I didn't say it out loud. Suddenly, Kane's smile vanished and began to stare at me intently. I feel like I just made a mistake. Why did I try to call his bluff? I need to think of something, played off like I didn't suspect a thing. Of course not. I'm just overthinking things. I was just curious where you worked, and I was picturing some huge spy agency with a fancy office, but then you mentioned some secret safe house, and why would I need to lure you anywhere? I started to feel uneasy. He was looking at me with a predatory stare that sent a chill down my spine. Bint! Run! Suddenly, Robbie bolted from the hallway and threw himself against the front door, frantically trying to open it. I shot up from my chair and rushed over to him. Damn it! What's wrong? Is he dangerous? Should I have stayed away from him? He turned to me, but his eyes were filled with such terror I felt a chill run down my spine. He was looking past me over my shoulder. You really shouldn't have. I took a step back, a cold dread creeping through my veins. I turned to follow his gaze. Why did I even get myself into all of this? The good ending. Oh, we got a good ending. We're all gonna be friends, right? Right? 31%? Wow, this system clearly doesn't reckon he could have been that careless. Good thing he didn't do that, huh? Well, we got the good ending. Yay! Alright, so let's go back. Let's react accordingly. So, perception, we were too perceptive. Skepticism. Alright. I want to react with skepticism. My action with Kane had been weird from the start, and I couldn't shake a sense of unease now either. Suddenly, I realized Robbie's watching us through a crack in the door, which, with no intention of coming out. Actually, it looked like he was scared. Did he not want Kane to see him? I stared at Kane intently. I knew something was off about him. Are you sure I'm the one you need for this? Kane freezes for a second, then looks at me with a smile. You seem like a smart guy, and it's hard to find someone intelligent who doesn't also need to be brought up to speed on this whole monster situation. Not many people will believe it on your word alone. That doesn't make any sense. He hasn't even told me what he needs help with. Is that really his reason? He looks like he can afford to hire help, which means he can get anyone. I doubt you'd have to convince him that monster exists if you're paying them enough. This whole thing feels like less he wants my help and more he's trying to butter me up and lure me somewhere. To be honest, I think I want to back out. I was curious about the monster and why all this feels familiar like deja vu, but no. Aw, Leo. I still haven't fully woken up yet. Your voice is so calming, and I just want to snuggle up with you right now. I know, the difference of being here versus... let me turn on my air. The difference of being here versus being on VR. I can be a little bit more chill, as I like to be. Kane stares at me in surprise, as if he never expected me to refuse. The smile vanished from her face, and his eyes widen. No. I rose from my chair and walked to the front door, my steps firm, my resolve unshakable. I don't want to be a part of this anymore, but thanks for the offer. Kane gets up from the couch confused and walks over to me. Does this mean you've changed your mind about finding that monster you were so interested in? That's right. I have too many other problems right now to waste my time and energy on this. He suddenly smiled, which was the last thing I expected. Actually, that's for the best. I could have used the help, of course, but I'll sleep better knowing you and your sister are far away from all this. Goodbye, Bint. Bye. Good luck. He gave me one last look, his gaze surprisingly calm, and he left the apartment, after which I closed the door behind him. I let out a breath and leaned back against the door, feeling the tension finally drain out of me. Right after that, Robbie quietly opened the door to the hallway and came out. It was obvious from the worried look on his face that something was wrong. He wore a mask of terror and his eyes darted around the room. Okay, what's the... He quickly raised a finger to his lips, shushing me. I got the hint to shut up immediately, my curiosity giving way to a sense of foreboding. He walked to the door and carefully peeked through the peephole as if worried someone was still out there. Looks like he's really gone. He spoke almost in a whisper, his voice trembling. The atmosphere in the room grew thick, and the air heavy and oppressive. Then what was it? What's happening? He turned back to me, his face alarmed. His gaze was filled with desperation and fear. That guy. The heavy atmosphere in the room made me hold my breath. My heart started to pound like crazy, anticipating something awful. He is the monster. What? Please, keep your voice down. My heart hammered in my chest. My head spun at my words. My whole world felt like it had been turned upside down. Kippy's a big, handsome goober. He's very handsome in real life, too. I know. Again, the difference, right? Oh, what do you mean? How could it be him? I mean, that's the exact form it took when it tried to trick me. The behavior, the name. It's definitely him. How did it even find you? I didn't know what to say. I had just been playing chess with death without even realizing it. I had literally been talking to the monster itself without wanting to find out, maybe even kill it. This is worse than any nightmare. I don't know. I just met him on the same street where I saw the creature, so I ran to the monster itself. It was trying to track someone there. Robbie suddenly grew thoughtful, rubbing his chin. Huh. So there was something on that street it was interested in, but why? And what was it? I have no idea. So does that mean it's always trying to lure me into a trap, just like with you? Yes, and no. It was trying to trap you, yes, but clearly not in the same way it trapped me. I don't know what it wanted from you, but it backed off once you promised you wouldn't investigate that monster. So it wanted to eliminate me as a witness, especially since I told it to its face that I wanted to deal with it. Looks that way. But even though it seems to have left you alone, we should still hurry. Phew. I think that's everything. I tried to pack the most important stuff into the suitcase as fast as I could. It should be enough for now. He slapped a hand on the suitcase lid and nodded, pleased with his work. Thanks for helping. Really. I don't like that it's nighttime and my sister's not home. Robbie smiled so brightly for that moment. The panic in the room seems to fade, and he handed me my suitcase. Well, at least now you believe me, which means we're a team, right? I managed to smirk, though. I can still feel a dull throb of anxiety in my chest. After what I know, we need to be a team if we're going to survive. But what you said to him about not being sure if you wanted to get involved, don't worry, that wasn't true. Well, part of me does wish I could stay out of it, but something inside of me is telling me I have to see this through. It's just an itch I can't scratch. Robbie smiled and nudged me with his elbow. Glad to hear you're still on board, Agent Bint. I smiled back at him and wondered if he packed everything I needed. I quickly set the suitcase by the door, then went to the couch and closed the second one, which was a little bigger. I packed it with everything we might need to get away. Documents, spare clothes, some food. We need to intercept Haley on our way home from school. Quick. I'll call her and tell her not to come home. Robbie nodded, his expression turning serious. Yeah, that's a good idea. I pulled out my phone, and as I dialed her number, a strange sense of hopelessness tightened in my chest. It's just, I don't even know where we're gonna go. As the phone rang, it finally hit me just how trapped we really were. We have nowhere else to go, and I don't have the money to get out of the city. I clutched the phone nervously, feeling despair welling up. I had no idea what to tell Haley if she picked up. She's not answering. I tried again. Hey, I can help with that. I looked at him surprised. How is he supposed to help us? Robbie lowered his voice, as worried I might be overheard. Like I was saying, I've got a place I hide out. That motel on the edge of town, not so many people know about it. But I've gotten almost no. Don't worry about it. I'll pay. We should focus on the next move, though. To be honest, I already have an idea. Really? What is it? We need to be clever. We'll get you and Haley hidden away, and in the meantime, I'll... Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. "91%? Okay. We still landed more or less in the same place. Okay. Oh, okay. Alright. Funny thing. Is that a Butter? Butter, did you send that to me? Butter! This is definitely a butter message that just came in right here, right now. I'm gonna wait for the ad break to finish. Alright, there we go. Butter, did you just send this right here, right now? This is definitely you sending me something on the computer. Right then. That's us done. Time to clear the trail. Let's hope no one comes poking around the PC anytime soon, huh? Funny thing has a threatening aura. It definitely does. Oh, well, there's a funny thing. Thanks for playing our game. Well, shit. Well, what? That's it? It goes right to that? No ending, no nothing. Thanks for playing our game. Yeah. That is pretty funny, actually. That is pretty good. That is pretty good. Somehow like the ending adds so much more to the story. Real? Wait, was that it? Thanks for playing our game. Woo! No. I think the funny thing is a red herring ending. Absolutely. Small indie dev moment. Yeah, we're loading. We're loading. All right. All right, so there's funny thing. Wonder where he is now. Suppose you could call her cute, in a way. I can see why Miss T likes them so much. Interesting. Would rather not be that easy to trace. Logo's proper retro. Wonder how many times we've changed it over the years. No point opening this one. Are we? I wonder if we're the monster. Just like trying to dig up. The important thing is that he tried. Real. My guy seems cool. I wonder if he still works here. This would be excellent blackmail material, but it would give away that I was digging around in this old computer. No more story. All leading up to the computer exploding. Perfect. No answers given. 30 out of 10. The end. Thanks for playing our game. Near automated 2B ending type shit. Yeah, exactly. Ending D got. Did you draw some paint or what? So much potential hidden in that name. I hope they didn't use it on me. It wasn't as creepy as later ones, but it was a complete failure. Interesting. Interesting. I'm afraid there's nothing more I can get from this one. That bit of memory's tapped out. Best be off and see what else turns up. A remember password button would have been nice. Sick of typing it in every single time. Let's just get on with it. Afraid there's nothing more I can get from this one. That bit of memory's tapped out. No. Let me in. Let me in. Nope. Having a personal therapist must be something. I don't know. That might be the tap out moment of this ending. I swear to God. Is funny thing really the end of this? Doomsday track. Real. Yeah. Yep. They are Butter Mage. Isn't that crazy? So much potential in that name, as said. So we have golden projects. I mean, ongoing projects. Okay. Too fragile. It's even cute. Are these different monsters? I think these are different monsters, actually. Hello? Yeah, these are definitely... Uh-huh. Helped attract sponsors. Dude, hello? And it was him. Interesting. I know, right? Something's silly. Something's quirky here. Is that really where we end up? Interesting that my cursor changes outside of the thing. And current employees? Let's see. Kane. I don't see Kane. There's no way that's the end. Thanks for playing a game. Smile. Ew, Walker. Chen. Yeah. But let's see former staff. Oh, no, nothing here. Test subjects. Could also be one of the C names. I know, right? Others. King. I'm coming over red string and photo paper. We're solving this tonight. I know, right? Can I drag it? No point. Come on, let me open it. Let me open it. Can we look out? Is there anything out here? Is there anything out here? Because the cursor does change. Hello? 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 No? I don't know. This might be it. This might be where we are currently. Right? Funny thing might just be it. Okay. What if we return to title? Yeah, I don't know. That might be it. Going clinically insane. I need more Robbie in my life. Real answer, actually. All right. About. Oh, yeah. Also, here we go. Well, since we've reached apparently an ending point for now, I think I will take that. Maybe I will return with some more on when I take some time to think, because I'm sure there's a lot more pathways we could be taking. But to be like, anyway, you did it. Congratulations. That's a game. But give some love, obviously. Keep him around. Oh, Leo canonically dies. Real. Here we go. Because there's no credits or anything like that either. So I feel like we definitely did not reach the right ending. Right? I'll do it one more time just to see what happens. Interesting. Well. Time to clear the trail. Let's hope no one comes poking around this PC anytime soon, huh? It's such a joke ending. There's no way. Like, I need, like, the colorful confetti to, like, you did it. Yay. Woo. Yeah. Yeah. Like, 79%? It should be lower. Thanks for playing. Smile. Like, what the fuck? Oh, what? Hello? Either way, I'm going to take some time to, like, focus on some thoughts with it, and we can definitely play around with it. But yeah, give some love. Get the game yourself. It is for free. The demo is out. It is Aim to Capture. It is on Steam. So it's very easy to grab. Who knows? Maybe you'll be able to find something that I haven't, and you can help influence me as I play it some more, because I would definitely need the help, because there's probably plenty to see. But with that said, let's go ahead and take some time to raid off, because I want to eat, and I'm kind of hungry again already, very quickly. Kind of silly, right? I know. But I want food. I wish for food. Let's see. Alright. Alright. I know who we're going to raid. We're going to raid Dewey. Dewey is currently live. Dewey is another filmmaker. Alright, we're gonna raid Dewey. He is currently playing Elder Scrolls Skirm Anniversary Edition. Skirm is a good, you know, perfect timing right after the explosion ending, joke ending of the game to go right into finally awake, are you? So, it's been super fun. We're gonna get in there. We're gonna start the raid now. It's been good times. It has been kind of crazy. Yeah, we'll definitely be coming back to this game and playing some more, but I do want to take some time to eat something more, and also just as a whole take a little bit of a break today by doing other work. Smile. But I should be around on later tonight, as I usually am with VR. But until then, get in there, give Dewey some love. The message is going to be thanks for playing, smiley face with the bracket. That would be perfect. Thanks for playing. Also, Dewey is currently surfing on the ground in a boat. I don't know what the hell he is doing right now, but this is an event. So you're gonna have to get in there and see whatever he's doing right now. That he literally just like he's flying around on a boat. I don't get it. I'm watching his stream as we speak right now. So again, get in there. Raid messages. Thanks for playing. Exactly. Go ahead and copy what Asamu says there. That is exactly it. Appreciate you guys. I'll be seeing you real soon, and get in there, get over and see him, and I'm waiting for him to get out of his menu. He's gonna fly away on a boat, and you're gonna see it right now. Get in there. Love you all. Big aloha's.